Is it better now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
You can hear me better now.
Yes.
Okay, so you can hear me better now, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so we want to acknowledge the land on which we are having this event. This land acknowledgement is taken from the City of Toronto's website. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. The city also acknowledged that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today again. I will be calling on Adiba to give us the introduction to the event of today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Adiba, are you there? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome to International Women's Day, brought to you by Nigerian Canadian Association, GTA sector. And we're here to celebrate women. International Day Women's Day is celebrated globally on March 8th every year. And in 1975, the United Nations began celebrating International Women's Day in the International Women's Year. Can we all hear me very well?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, yes, yes.
In 1977, the United Nations General Assembly invited member states to proclaim March 8th as the UN Day for Women's Rights and World Peace. The day recognizes the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The event celebrates women's achievements and raises awareness about women's equality and lobbies for accelerated gender parity. The theme for the UN in 2022 is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. And the rest of the world hashtag is Break the Bias. Whether deliberate or unconscious, bias makes it difficult for women to move ahead. And knowing that bias exists isn't enough, but action is needed to level the playing field. This year, Nigerian Canadian Association has taken action by setting aside today, March 12, 2022, to recognize a few inspirational Nigerian Canadian women, because we know there's a lot in the GTA, General Toronto area, for their contribution to the development of our communities. According to a Spanish proverb, to tell a woman everything she cannot do is to tell her what she can. Welcome again to International Women's Day celebration for the NCA GTA. And I'm sure you would have a great, great time. Thank you for coming.
So I'm going to be introducing the first speaker for today. Linda Iria is the Senior Director for Human Resources of the Canadian Arm, the largest security service in Canada and the third largest in North America. She is here to speak to us today about the racism in workplace and also in corporate environment. Why she's going to be here today, she is the lead in diversity, equity, and inclusion for our organization, and she is one of the committee member, the global committee member for diversity and inclusion. Please welcome Linda Iria to the podium.
Well, thank you. Good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of today's celebrations. International Women's Day is something that's recognized around the world, and being strong African women, I'm glad to be on this podium today. You know, when we think of International Women's Day, for me personally, I think of a few strong African women. I think of especially with the pandemic coming through. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala from Nigeria, who's the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization. I think of some of the presidents in Nigeria, in Africa, Saleh Work Zwede from Ethiopia, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf from Liberia, Joyce Banda from Malawi. These are strong African women who are role models for a lot of us. But also, I think mostly of people that we have grown up with in our families, our mothers, our aunts, our sisters, nannies, teachers, and other female figures who've helped us to shape our lives today. You know, as Deba said earlier, the theme given by United Nations is gender equality for a sustainable tomorrow. How can we be part of gender equality for tomorrow? I often say that a lot of what we do today is going to be reaped by our children and further generations. Where we are today, we are because we were able to lean on the shoulders of people that came before us. 3 areas I'd like to tackle today. The first is, it's a saying from Nora Ephron, which says, above all, be the heroine of your life and not the victim. You know, as women, it's very important to be the heroine of our lives, to be the ones who are, you know, just promoting ourselves. It's easy to feel that things are happening to us based on the struggles we may experience at home, work, or life in general. But I'd like to admonish everyone today to start change your thinking to things are happening for me and not to me. As Sumba mentioned, I'm going to talk a little bit about what happens in the corporate world. The company I'm in, as Sumba said earlier, is the 3rd largest company in North America. It's the 7th in the world, commands 18 billion in revenues every single year. And so when you think of a company of that size, it's very rare to find, it's a male-dominated company because it's in security. When I was hired 6 years ago, there were no females in senior leadership, not to mention a Black female in senior leadership. So that brought with it a lot of challenges as well, because, you know, people were not used to someone at the table at that level, you know, making demands, giving suggestions, having strong opinions. Throughout the corporate world, I've always been referred to as being, oh, you're too strong. You know, maybe show your softer side. You know, we don't see you crying. These are things that, you know, in the corporate world, they're expecting the woman to be that person who's known for crying, known for being emotional. When our male counterparts, you know, maybe shout in the boardroom, or, you know, they're angry about something, they're referred to as, oh, they're passionate. You know, but when a woman has the same kind of emotion, they're referred to as emotional. They're emotional. Why do I bring this up? I bring this up because as women, we've got to recognize that that's the stereotype that we're being given. You've got to make sure that you're not painted by the same broad brush. Make sure that, you know, regardless of what's expected, we're expected to be the ones crying in the boardroom, to walk out of the boardroom emotional. Regardless of that, that we overcome that and stay true to the things that we believe are true. When I was there, I was told that I would never receive a promotion because, you know, it's very hard for women to, you know, advance in a male-dominated company. Well, for me, I say to people, understand the culture you're in and make that culture work for you. At work, because of the excellent product that I produce, it's impossible not to reward me. Whatever you do at work, do it excellently so that there is no excuse. There's no excuse for you not to move further. Whatever you work at it excellently. When we speak, sometimes we're afraid that our words will not be heard, but guaranteed, if you don't speak, they won't be heard either. So as women, it's great for us to overcome the fears we have. You know, am I going to sound right? You know, are people going to be okay to listen to what I have to say? Just say it anyways. The second thing I want to talk about is for women to believe in each other. You know, women that believe in each other can survive anything. sometimes we happen to be the greatest enemies of ourselves. You know, in the workplace, sometimes it's difficult sometimes because women don't band together. We've got to learn to band together and lift each other up. Sometimes I make deliberate moves when I'm hiring people. Because I'm in charge of diversity and inclusion, I've got to be intentional in that. And being intentional and breaking the bias means that I'm intentional in who I hire. If I see that we don't have ethnic representation, then I'm going to make an effort to hire in that regard. We've got to ensure that we're supportive of each other. That's how we break the bias. The last thing I wanted to talk about is, oh, I hear music in the background. Is that deliberate? Okay, thank you. The last thing I want to talk about is learning how to select your thoughts. Select your thoughts the same way you select your clothing every day. This is a power you can cultivate. That's a saying by Elizabeth Gilbert. The way you think is very important to breaking the bias. You know, when I think of break the bias, break the way people expect females to be. Break the bias of how people expect you to be or what your goal is. Stick to your goals, understand what your goals are, and make sure that your thinking matches your goal. If your thinking doesn't match your goal, so in the corporate world, you say, okay, you know, I want to be a vice president one day, but then you're thinking small. You know, someone gives you a huge project and you think, well, you know, I can't accomplish that because that's way too big. No. You can advance. You know, people a lot of times come to me and say, you know, are you Nigerian? I'm like, yes, 100%. I'm Nigerian. I'm married to a Nigerian. I'm proud of my heritage. It doesn't mean that I can't be a senior person in the corporate world. Anyone can. You have to just make sure that your thought process matches with what your goals are, because what you think becomes what you do. What you think becomes what you execute. And when you're able to do that, you're going to be able to achieve your goals. There's a lot of racism. We can't shy away from that. But the fact that there's racism doesn't mean that you stop to move forward in your goals. I advise a lot of people, especially if you've just come into the country, to get a mentor, get someone who can help you to get to point C, instead of having to go A, B, and C. Lean on someone's experience, someone who's experienced what it is to work in the corporate world in Canada. When you have that in your back pocket, when you've got a mentor who can help you take those footsteps, then you're much ahead. The most common way that people give up their power is by thinking that they don't have any power. Each one of us has power inside of us to be whatever it is we want to be in Canada, anywhere in the world. Like Sumbo said, I'm part of the Global Committee for Diversity and Inclusion, and that's worldwide. And there are opportunities for ladies, for women, for ethnic minorities. This is our time as women to be able to advance, because never in the history of the world has there been so much advocacy for women. So let's go ahead and just make sure that we take advantage of all of that. I'm going to close out with a verse in the Bible that's very near and dear to my heart. It's Philippians 4:8, which says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there's any excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. So as we go forward today and into the next week, let's make sure we have it with all positive thoughts. Thank you very much.
So we'll call on the makeup artist to come and take us through our own section while we continue the agenda for today. Thank you so much.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. Is it possible for me to share my screen?
I think you can share.
Okay. All right. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Glory Obatayo, known as Glory Glory. That's my brand name. And it's a privilege and honor to, be among the women talking and empowering each other today.
So
I don't know why we should, except she's in the hospital.
Please, can you mute yourself? If you're here today, please mute yourself. Gloria.
Okay, I can go ahead, right?
Yes.
All right. So today, I'm a makeup artist. I'm a professional makeup artist, and today, with the few time I will be sharing some few tips with everyone today about what importance of makeup is to us as women. Um, as women, we always want to show ourselves good, come out looking good, our skin, our makeup, we want to look nice. And everywhere we go, everywhere we touch base on, we want to look amazing as much as we can. And I, as a makeup artist, up in that line. And today I'll be touching on few points that we need to know about makeup. First, I'll be talking about the skin. I came with my bare face today without makeup because I want you to see how my face is without makeup. Skin is a major importance when it comes to, beauty line. You have to have your skin flawless. When I mean flawless, I know a lot of women deal with acne, not just women, a lot of people deal with acne and, different kind of skin problem. But we as women, we have to do extra work because of, hormonal imbalance and every other thing that goes on with us. I'm sorry about that. So, we have to take extra time and extra care for our skin. So as much as possible, I always encourage my client and people to take care of their skin, to have a flawless, makeup. And on the screen, I'm sharing the skin tone. For every women out there, for every skin type, there's skin tone. There's warm and cool skin. And for us to know what kind of foundation works for us as Blacks, most times, let me say, majority of Blacks are warm skin tone. Not all, but majority of Blacks are warm skin tone. And majority of whites are cool skin tone. And there is mixed, which is a neutral skin tone, which is a mixture of both warm and cool. And this helps you in, picking your foundation. A lot of people ask me, oh, how can I get my right shade of foundation? How can I get my right shade of, powder? How can I get my right tone? So I tell people, when you go to your store, beauty store, to get your foundation, or if you're buying online, just go on Google and type. Look at your vein, first of all, your wrist, or your body. Just check what color of vein do you have. Do you have a blue vein? Do you have a pink vein? Do you have a green vein? So you go on Google and just type warm skin tone, and Google brings out, that helps you to know what kind of foundation you want to buy if you're buying online. So if you see what color of vein you have, and that helps you to buy what you need online. So you don't buy a foundation that will make you look gray when you come out, or make you 2 shades darker than you are. And if you're going in store, I advise clients to always buy, foundation with their neckline and their, chin, in between their neckline and chin, instead of your wrist or the back of your hand. If you're testing with the back of your hand or wrist, you won't get your right shade. You'll be getting something darker, because most times because women, we put our hands in water a lot, our hands tend to be darker than our face, right? So if you're testing with the the back of your hand or your wrist, you won't be getting the right foundation shade and tone. And also when you go to the store, you want to open your neckline to let the person attending to you, the attendants, to let them know that, okay, this is my, skin type. So that helps, the person selling to you to know, okay, am I giving the right shade? I'm showing on my skin right now. You see the shades and tone that we have. Am I giving the right shades? Because if you get a wrong tone and a wrong shade, when you go out in the sun, it oxidizes, so it gives a different tone after you apply it. So you want to maintain the same skin tone and shade throughout the day if you're wearing your makeup. And the same goes with powder. Powder also helps, to beautify your face, even without foundation, if you have a flawless skin. If your skin is good already, your skin is, clear, you don't need too much foundation, you don't need too much product, so you don't come out cakey, or your face don't come out too heavy. You can use a good coverage of powder. I'm not going to promote any brand or, bring down any brand today. Just, search around, do your own research, and go on YouTube, type best foundation, good powder. It brings it out. That's how I do my research, also from YouTube, from Instagram. Follow makeup artists, and you'll get few tips from how you're gonna do, get your own right product. And also, I want to put it out there today that because the product is expensive doesn't mean the product is effective. And because the product is, affordable doesn't mean it's less effective. It's just the application that matters. So don't let anyone sell to you. Oh, everybody wants to sell their brand, right? But just know what works for you. Find and research what works for you, and just stick by it. Don't let anybody try to sell their product to you and you're just buying and not using it, right? So just find what works for you and stick by it. Even as a makeup artist, I don't, shop around for product. I find what works for me and stick by it, because eventually you might not have to use it for a long time because it expires. And once it expires, you have to throw it out, right? I don't know if I'm within my time frame. Another thing I want to talk to you about today is, please use your sunscreen. Before makeup, before any other thing, use your sunscreen. Get a good sunscreen out there and use it. It helps to balance out your skin. Because if your face is lighter than your neck and your chest, it will be wrong for you to get, it will be difficult, to get your foundation type or tone. And if you're not using a sunscreen, if you're using a sunscreen, it blends out and even your skin, right? So a good sunscreen before any application on your face. And after you're done, use a good setting spray. Get a good setting spray, spray it all over your face. It helps to set your foundation so it doesn't look too white or too bright on you. It helps to set your face in a good way. I think I touched base on just the little tips people.
So we're going to allow Sheridan to take the floor now. Welcome, Sheridan.
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing?
We're doing well.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I know I'm here to exercise, to give you guys exercise, but I'm just going to do just a small brief, the importance of exercising. So exercising is very, very important, as everyone know. When we exercise, we avoid diseases, we avoid sickness. A lot of people, they have diabetes and they have hypertension and all that. So when we exercise, we avoid all that. And it's also good for our mental health, not only just for our, diseases and but also for our emotional and our mental health. So exercise is very important. So it's important to incorporate it into your daily routine. Make it a daily routine. And when I talk about exercise, I'm not talking about anything that's too strenuous. Anything could be exercise as long as it's light. It could be very, very, very light. It could be, for example, you're going for a walk outside, maybe 10 minutes. It's getting nice, but not today. But, spring's around the corner. So what you can do is, find time to, walk. walk 15 minutes, and gradually, you know, every day you increase it. You increase it, maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes and all that. It's good for your heart. When you exercise, it makes our heart strong. I know I don't have to really get into all the, you know, the good benefits. You know, it's good for the muscles, good for the heart, just good for everything. Just incorporate it. What the exercise you can do, you could do walking. You could also do, like we're going to do dancing. So, you know, that's part of exercising as well too. There's lots of YouTube videos. Everybody has YouTube, everybody knows how you get on YouTube. Look for maybe a beginner exercise, you know, exercise program that you could do. Another kind of exercise you could also do is yoga, you know, stretching, flexibility. That's also good for, you know, good for the muscles and good for your heart. And also strength training. A lot of women, we're afraid of strength training because we think that we're going to gain, you know, a lot of muscles, we're going to be bulky. No, you don't have to do heavy weight. Just do something light. If you don't have weights, you could use 2 bottles of water for your weights, and you could do, you know, that type of exercises as well. And also Pilates. There's also Pilates exercises. If you don't know what Pilates is, you could go on YouTube and they'll show you how to do, you know, this. It's a very mild exercise. Another way of getting active is physical activity. That's different from exercise. Physical activity is maybe, again, swimming. If they open the pools now, I know it's a pandemic, but they're opening things. So, you know, you could do some outdoor activity, playing tennis, you know, playing tennis, and just doing very fun things to do, you know, things to keep your heart rate, and also, you know, to decrease and prevent diseases. And it's good for your mind. It's good for your mental health. Okay, sounds good? Yes. Let me hear some yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So exercise is medicine. Exercise is medicine. It's better than taking pills, right? Yes. So we're gonna do some exercise now. So I want to see everybody turn on your camera. I want to see everybody's camera on, and we're gonna do some very fun exercise. We're gonna do some dancing. Okay.
Thank you.
Woo, I need some water. Don't forget, when you exercise as well too, keep drinking water as well too. Okay.
Bring wine for me.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sheridan.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheridan.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you
Bye.
so much, Sheridan. Thank you.
You're
Oh my
you're
God.
welcome. You're
Oh my
welcome.
God.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yes, I
Honestly,
got you guys sweating. I got you guys all sweating and all excited. That's good. I love it.
Bye.
I love it. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Margaret, for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right.
thank you, Sheridan. Thank you. Honestly, the part I love most was the stomach one. Like you move it, and I lost a little bit from this, you know, I did. Thank you so much. It is good for us to do exercise to keep fit. Thank you. So right now, I'm going to call on Itwan Evawure. She's one of the youth for the Toronto City Hall. She's a youth leader, and we're going to call her to come up and talk to us as women today. Thank you so much. Itwan, are you there?
Hi, good evening. Yes, I'm here. I just want to greet everyone here. A very tremendous and happy Women's Day wish I'm wishing all of you. I'm just saying in advance, please excuse my connection if it's a little bit slow. I'm actually in Jamaica right now, so I have to just manage the connection I have. I'm going to start off by saying once again, happy Women's Day. Now, Women's Day is very important to me because obviously it's a day where we're celebrating women. Although I'm someone who's under the influence that you don't have to wait for a day to celebrate women. I believe that women should be celebrated every day. I believe that our ancestors and the women, you know, the women and the ancestors, they've done a huge thing in the past. You know, I'm someone who's Nigerian and proud. So it's just to inform everybody here, I'm from the great Benin Kingdom. Oh my God, from the great Benin Kingdom. And someone that we celebrate really big in Benin is Queen Iria. Now, many people have heard of, many people should be familiar with Queen Iria. You can find her statues pretty much everywhere. I'm even here in Jamaica, and I went to an African restaurant. The owner is not Nigerian. The owner is actually from South Africa, and she has the Queen Iria there. So when I went into the restaurant, I said, oh my gosh. Then she told me, she said, You know, anytime you come into this restaurant, you're always taking a picture of Queen Iria. Why? And I said, because she's a powerful woman and she's a woman to be celebrated. And that is the power of keeping history. That is the power of celebrating women. When you celebrate women one day, generations after will celebrate. If you celebrate yourself, I think that before you can celebrate any other woman, you celebrate yourself as a woman. If you give yourself like 3 gosas and you say, I try as a woman, trust me, your children, your nieces, your nephews, your friends, your co-workers, colleagues will also celebrate you. So a big part of being a woman, in my opinion, is just celebrating yourself. So I don't want to take everybody's time too much, but I really want to talk about just empowering women, because I know the power of empowering women. You know, as mentioned in my introduction, I sit actually on City Council's Night Economy. I was appointed by the Deputy Mayor of Toronto, so I advise Toronto City Council and our Canadian government on how we can advance our city, make it more safer, make it more entertaining, make it more entertaining, and pretty much make it safer. And one thing I can tell you is when I started politics in like 2017, I was really, really younger then. I'm still young now. But when I started off, I was always the youngest in the room. I would sit down with the mayor of Toronto. I would sit down with, you know, multiple stakeholders for the city, the whole big city of Toronto. And I was always the youngest in the room. Not only was I the youngest in the room, I was like the biggest diva in the room. So when I walk in, I like to, you know, I have Nigerian blood in me. So I'd like to do my shakara. I just walk in, you know, you'll forget that it's even office I'm going to, because I just, you know, it shows on my body that I take care of myself and I'm just a happy person. And you know, when you go into certain environments as a female, especially with that type of attitude, you would think, why won't people celebrate me? Why won't people clap their hands for me and say, well done? Why won't people say, you know what, you're doing an amazing job? Well, within the circle of people I was in, I'm talking about even at work at City Council, there was discrimination. In Toronto City Council, and when it comes to our Canadian government, even if we want to take it to the extent of the Nigerian government, we can talk about, we have to look at how women are placed in these settings. Unfortunately, women have not been placed in these settings. Now, there's a big saying that's very, very popular, and it goes like this. They say, if you don't see a seat, how does it go? Excuse me. If they don't give you a seat at the table, put out a folding chair. Now, I don't even believe in that saying anymore. I'm the type of person, I won't pull out a folding chair. I will simply create my own table and invite my crew of people into my table. And before you know it, our table will take up many spaces in the room and will be the ones leading. That's what women empowerment is about. It's about pulling each other and raising the bar. Now, going back to politics, like I mentioned, I was always the youngest in the room. Always the person, I always felt so intimidated because you have, not only are you the youngest female and then the female in the room, maybe like the only female in the, or maybe a few other females, maybe like 3 other females in the room, just a small group of people. Then you have intimidating males, you know, you have Caucasian white males who are like way older than you. Some of them were older than my father, you know, and you know, it was very hard because I'm a respectful child. I believe in respecting my elders, of course, but also in the workplace, sometimes you have to do things just, you know, you don't look at any other factors. You just look at work, let me get the work done and keep it pushing. Now, in that type of workplace, so much discrimination. They'll look at you down because they'll say that you're a woman, you don't know what you're talking about. They'll look at you, your age. They will look at where you came from. They will look at your education. They will look at your network, who you know, what experience you have. And judging off that, even if it's a lot, they will still try and pull you down. They will not acknowledge you or give you the credit. Well, this is just a reminder to every woman of every age that's, like I said, when they don't give you that a seat at the table, you create your own chair. I mean, you create a whole new other table. When they don't applaud you, look for people that can applaud you. There are many people on this chat that I can say, oh my goodness, I see my auntie, so can you be here? My big sister, they're all here. These are ladies who, for the longest time, have been cheering me on, and that's my little circle. And it's things like that and people like that that really empower women. Women empowerment is not just about having this conversation and going back about our business. It's about challenging the stereotypes in the workplace, in our environments, especially in a country like Canada, where there's so many stereotypes for Black people talk about women. You have to challenge these stereotypes, and you're not proving to anybody, but you're proving to yourself that you know what you're talking about, you have that experience, and you're a good person, and whatever you're doing, you can succeed in it. One thing that I've done is when people are overpowering me with their, words, or they're trying to minimize what I'm saying, It's happened to me multiple times. Sorry, can you please help me with my charger? It's happened to me multiple times where I faced discrimination and they said, you didn't know what you're talking about. And I said, no, I stood up for myself and I said, listen, you know what? And I tell them straightforward, I said, you know what? You're a male, you're Caucasian, and I feel like you're not giving us Black women a chance to speak. Now, in a city where we talk about being diverse, we need that chance to speak. We need that chance, and nobody will take it away from us. So it's all about demanding the respect that you need. And before you can demand it, believing in it for yourself. Sorry, I'm just trying to plug in my charger. It's also about, before you can demand, also believing in it for yourself. Like for me, for my example, one thing I have to tell you is that in City Hall, there's so much things that goes on. Politics is politics. It may not be Nigeria, but Canada has its own corruption in its own way. So you have to be able to open your eyes. A lot of things they try to keep away from us. And when I say us, I even mean women. Yes, even in Toronto City Council, for example, in politics, you see the male cliques compared to the females. And I feel like it's always a debate, but we're not up for debate because knowledge is power. And when God gave his people knowledge, he did not discriminate and said a man will be wiser than a woman and a woman will be less than a man. That is not it. Even in religion, it says, of course, you must honor the man and stuff like that, especially in marriage. But when it comes to living your everyday life, I believe, especially in this modern world, we owe ourselves respect. Women are mothers, women are sisters, women are powerful figures. Our ancestors, some of them fought war alongside the men. The only difference is they're not men, they don't look like men, they're women. In fact, in today's world, we have, even in Canada, a huge LGBTQ community where you have men trying to become women, just to show you how powerful and how lovely it is to become a woman. Even men now are saying they want to become a woman. Now, I don't want to continue going on for so long because I know you guys are receiving my points, which is at the end of the day, hold yourself up high, even in the worst situations. You know what? Stand up for yourself, never suppress yourself. It's very important because there are a lot of young women who are looking at other women and looking for leadership. A lot of women who are looking for leadership. There's a lot of young women who are living their day-to-day lives, but they need that leadership. They need that influence from other women that they can see doing powerful things. Because of me, I can see my younger sister. I can see all my, younger cousins and nieces, nephews, some of, the younger age women. They're looking at me and they say, Ituan, like, you're actually my motivation. Like, you're not perfect. We know where you came from. We know how you grew up, but look at the person you're becoming today. Look at the name. When you Google your name, Ituan, see the things that you see. Look at the awards that you've got. Look at all your TV appearances. But at the end of the day, that stuff didn't come just by chance. It came by challenging systems. And that's what women need to do. In 2020, I was interviewed by BBC Africa and it was aired and they asked me a very important question. They said, what does it mean to be an African woman? And my answer was simply this: being an African woman in today's world means challenging the status quo. It means breaking negative stereotypes. It means showing that our people, being a representative even for our Nigerian people, and showing the rest of the world that we are not lazy, we are smart, and we have history to back us up when it comes to those factors. And women have played a huge part of our history. When you lead, when you open a way where there's no way and you make a way, other women will see that. And I promise you, young girls will see what you are doing and they'll want to copy it. Even this, what we're doing right now, this conversation, it inspires me. I think I may be the youngest in the room, I'm not sure, but this inspires me to even continue this eventually and also bring on the youth and tell the youth that, hey, like, we have this great organization. Look at what the Nigerian Canadian Association is doing. Look at how can we be a part? How can we continue this conversation for the younger and younger generation? It starts by women opening up the field. And once a woman opens up the field, everybody else will follow. And I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunity to do it, but I wouldn't have been able to do it without women leaders that I've mentioned just previously now, even my own mother, right? She was a influence to me. As much as whoever knows me knows that I'm a daddy's girl, Auntie Soka, I know I'm a daddy's girl from time, but my mother had a huge influence on me. And if not for her daring spirit, if not for my mother being able to challenge different opportunities, I promise you, I would be too scared to challenge them myself. I would not have the audacity to get into something, talk about politics. Now, politics, even if it's not in Nigeria, if it's in Canada, is a very challenging sport. Like, you have to be able to talk a lot. You have to be able to fight without fighting, if you know what I mean. Debate and hold your own. And it takes a lot of bravery. And there's a lot of women who don't have that bravery, unfortunately. The only reason being is because they didn't have a girl clique. They didn't have a woman clique. They didn't have a circle of women empowering them and pushing them and saying, you know what, you can do this. But when you do that to women and you have those important conversations with the younger generation and you tell them that you're here to support them, you tell them that I believe in you and you can do it. You tell them to try out what's in their wildest dreams, things that don't make sense, things that your generation was not able to do, things that my generation was not able to do, things that our ancestors were not able to do. When you brainwash the youth and you brainwash the next generation of females and tell them that they can do it, I promise you there's going to be so many other Nigerian names coming out and doing amazing things in different industries. So I just wanted to wish everybody, again, a very happy Women's Day. I really just wanted to come up in here and talk about, you know, pushing women and highlighting the fact that it's not easy to be a woman. It is not easy. There's a lot of men that, you know what, they can be married to their wife for years and they still won't have an idea of how it is being a woman. My father that has girls, he can only understand to a certain extent how it is being a woman. Nobody knows how it is to be a woman except for the women. So a big congratulations to every woman, every mother, every working class female who is breaking the stereotypes and doing it one step at a time. There's a whole bunch in this conversation right now on camera in this this Zoom meeting. There's a whole bunch that I can name doing different things. Continue doing everything that you're doing to represent us Nigerian women in Canada and the diaspora, of course, and in Nigeria. And I promise you that the fruits of your labor, the fruits of being a woman and being a woman so gracefully and empowering youth, it will only empower the next generation. And this conversation will be remembered by many. Happy Women's Day, my people, and thank you very much for having me.
It's time to roll with the big women of our time, the great achievers. We want to recognize all the women that has been inspiring us in our Canadian-Nigerian environment. They've been doing a lot in all areas of life, and we really appreciate you guys and thank you. So we will start calling out the names now, and we have a network to start with the first achievers recognition. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and you are welcome to today's program. Happy International Women's Day to everyone. So we have set today aside to recognize some inspirational women in the Nigerian Canadian community. So Napoli, are you there? Please share the screen. So we are recognizing 20 inspirational women in the Nigerian Canadian community here in Toronto. The first person on the list here is Queen Amina. Congratulations. Go ahead, the next person. Ngozi Ugo, a publisher. Congratulations, ma'am. Happy International Women's Day. Pastor Bosede Adebiyi, congratulations and happy International Women's Day. Dr. Bola Akintade, congratulations, happy International Women's Day. Chief Fumi Olumade Iyameto of Canada, congratulations, man, happy International Women's Day. Iyameto, special woman. Dr. Gloria Eminong, congratulations and happy International Women's Day. Oh, my lady, Kemi Amunsha, AKA Lady K, congratulations, ma, happy International Women's Day. So the next person is Sister Margaret Wonso is going to take the rest part of the presentation.
Inspirational, great works, breaking the biases in different areas of their lives, in the marketplace, in family life, in their personal careers. We congratulate all of you. So the next batch of the women that we are recognizing today are, we have Madam Trudy Edem. Congratulations, ma'am. We have Samira Golo, President of ANI. Congratulations, ma'am. We have Chief Mrs. Omishola Olubumi. Congratulations, ma'am. We have my dear Isoke Ibie. Congratulations, our actress, Nigerian actress, Nollywood actress. Congratulations. And we have our amiable TV personality, Mrs. Patricia Bibiemawa. Congratulations, ma'am. We have my very good friend, Mrs. Esther Enyolu. Congratulations, ma'am. You all deserve it. We recognize and congratulate all of you for this well-deserving recognition. Thank you.
And we cannot but recognize you. And for the next batch, I will be calling out their names. So the first person on the list for my list is Amenze Osagi. Thank you. Mr. Stella Ngozi Hill. Thank you so much and happy International Women's Day. Margaret Nwosu, a social worker. Thank you and happy International Women's Day. Itoa Evaboru, youth leader in the Toronto City Hall. Thank you so much. Happy International Women's Day. Dr. Charity Lebanya, we appreciate all that you do in our society. Thank you so much. Happy International Women's Day. Ijeoma Madweke, she's a realtor. Thank you so much for all that you do. Happy International Women's Day. And that concludes the list. Also, I will not fail to recognize all the organizers of this event, the Nigerian ESCOs, the Nigerian Canadian Association ESCOs, starting from the president, the president, the social secretary, the assistant social secretary, our able PRO, and also the social secretary, the financial secretary, the treasurer, and we also have help from the society too. We have Madam Margaret Nwosu helping us out in this. We also have Adiba helping us out in this. So we thank you all for all that you have done to see that this is a success today. And the Ogbonge social secretary is the one that actually put this program up, and we have all rallied around and worked it out. So we thank you all.
Can everyone hear me? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go on.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. Before I proceed, let me quickly acknowledge our father in the house, Pa Adete. Father, we greet you, we acknowledge your presence, and thank you for joining us tonight. Happy International Women's Day. I join the rest of the world to congratulate our women and girls across the globe as we commemorate the International Women's Day with a theme, break the bias, gender equality, today for a sustainable tomorrow. This celebration reinforces the need for all and sundry to renew efforts towards ensuring that repressive and suppressive actions and inclinations against womanfolk are confined to the dustbin of history. Every woman and girl must be free to live and aspire to achieve their dreams. This is the new world order. Women are a strong pillar in nation building. No nation succeeds without a woman. In fact, there's a saying that every nation begins from a family. A family grows to a community to a nation, and a nation to a people. Today, as we start to celebrate our women, we are here to acknowledge the importance of women in our society, in our lives. And without women, there's nothing we can actually accomplish. So, like many of the speakers has alluded to, it's only you that can limit yourself, women. And today we are here to establish and to let you know
that's why I went to
that you are important, you are relevant, you are essential, and you are needed. You are indispensable. Let me put it that way. So I want to say thank you to all the participants and congratulations to every one of you. This is not just the only ones that are excelling, but because of our limited resources and being the first of its kind in NCA, we are just doing and having it this little way. Hopefully the next one will be more elaborate and will be well inclusive. And again, talking of inclusiveness, I want to enjoin us, every one of us. Community building is a collective effort. This is Nigerian Canadian Association, the leading executive to which I am privileged to lead. And I join every one of us. Let us join hands together, because together we are stronger. If you think what we see tonight is great, just imagine if we come as a community of people to celebrate who we are. In fact, like my sister Itohan said, women, we should be celebrating ourselves, our women every day, not just at a season like this. And that is why I am encouraging every one of us. This next Independence Day, Nigerian Independence Day, let us join hands, let us do it, let us make it big. Let Canada feel our impact. Let Canada know that we have a community called Nigeria, and that together we can, be powerful. So again, I want to congratulate all the achievers that I recognize today, and I congratulate all the women. And thank you for joining us. Like I said, I will be calling on many of us to join us. I will be calling, and we will be calling you to come with us. Let's plan our Independence Day coming, and there we can bring the community together and acknowledge the trailblazers in our community. Like I said, this is the first of its kind in this association, and we'll continue to do more with your help. Again, Nigerian Canadian Association has come to stay, has been existing for over 40 years. We invite you to, let's work together. Let's do it together. You know what? We'll be hearing, oh, what have they done? If you don't come with your idea, in fact, what we're doing today was somebody's idea. If the person has sat back to say, oh, they're not relevant to me, we won't be doing this. And where we are today, society we are today, this is what we need to encourage ourselves, to inspire ourselves, and to challenge ourselves. Because if we don't acknowledge our own, the outsiders, they will not acknowledge us. They will not appreciate us. I want to thank you for all you are doing in the community. And thank you for promoting and enhancing who we are as a people and as a community. And I will be reaching out to you personally. There are work we can do together. And many of you, the same way, please, Sister Isoken, I see you. I've heard so much about you. And I want you with us. Let's work together. Let's build our community together because it's for us. If we don't do it, nobody will do it for us. I want to thank you again, and God bless you on behalf of the board of directors and executive. I appreciate every one of you, and I congratulate you. And there are more we can do, and we must do it. Thank you very much, and have a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, President. That was a good speech. We thank you so much. Because of the glitch that happened, we are going to announce Dr. Gubadia's award again, a recognition again. Nekma, you can go ahead.
So Napoleon, are you pulling out the presentation? Napoleon, can you hear me? Can you quickly pull out the presentation? Okay. One more time, we would like to recognize Dr. Oriomo Esther Guobadia. Congratulations, ma. Happy International Women's Day. We are very sorry it was a technical glitch. Moreover, we want to use this opportunity to announce to all the nominees today that we're going to be contacting everybody for the certificates. Probably we're going to email it to you, or we will ask you to come to NCA's office to pick up your certificate. All right. Thank you all for joining to this program, and happy International Women's Day to all the wonderful women that we recognize today. Thank you all.